I've been working on a big art project and I haven't told the details to anyone. And I don't think I will share anything about it for the next 1 year at least. And I think you should do the same. And let's discuss why today. And before you draw any conclusions, this is not anything related to spirituality and not oversharing your confidences. This is something more grounded on practicality, although there is nothing wrong if you believe there's some majestic side to not telling people about your personal projects, but this is something more specific and more grounded on daily actions. So let's get to it. And before anything else, I just want to say that this is supposed to be a safe place for artists. My channel is for all of us to discuss our ideas and to form a community. So if you think this kind of video is positive for the art community, please share and like it and subscribe to the channel. And you can also always use the community posts to share anything that you've been working on. I would be more than glad to take a look at it and, let's just form some connections. Also, I've been writing a book on art and life, so if this kind of video is helpful to you, maybe that book will be as well, and the first chapter is finished and free, so check the link on this video's description. So yeah, why would you even stay silent about your projects? Isn't this whole being an artist thing about forming connections and talking to people and letting people know about your art? Why would I even tell you to be silent about your projects? And let me be very clear about it. I'm talking about specific kinds of projects, not your recurrent daily practices or arts that you want to take as finished pieces and publish somewhere online. I'm not talking about the kind of art that you make for your portfolio or the kind of thing that you publish on social media. I'm talking about big projects. So think about albums for musicians or a novel for a writer. This is the kind of project that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to make sure everything is on the right place. This is the kind of thing that you take a lot of time alone, just thinking through a lot of different ideas and scrapping a lot of those and perfecting the ones that you choose. This is the kind of project that I'm referring to when I say that you should stay silent about and not tell everyone for some time, because those are the kind of projects that tend to go wrong, that we tend to fail miserably at. And there's more to it than just being big projects, just taking a long time to finish. And I think in the end, it tells a lot about how we operate on our modern society. So I'll start defending my position that you should stay silent about it for some time, at least in the beginning, with one word: insecurity. I don't think we think about it as much as we should, but whenever we tell something to other people about our personal lives, whether it's something positive or negative, I think these people that listen to us, mainly if they are close to us, tend to reflect a lot of things to us. When I say reflect, I do mean it. I do believe that when we communicate with other people, we share a lot of things, some of which we are not even aware of at the moment. Whenever we start a project, we are unsure about a lot of its qualities, a lot of our decision makings, and a lot of the prospects of it. When you start something, especially big projects, something that takes a long time to finish, at the beginning you're not sure what you're doing. You're finding out a lot of things about it on the way. And until you get the right answers, you'll find yourself asking the wrong questions. And this is just a flourishing space for insecurities, and it's fine to feel insecure at first because, again, you don't know what you're doing. If you knew, you would probably have finished this project already. And the mere fact that you don't know what you're doing yet means that you're not sure how to communicate about it. There's a lot of parts of this project that you are not even aware that they should exist and that you haven't tapped into yet. So whenever people ask about specific details about it, you won't have the answers. This is the kind of conversation that will not lead anywhere. And I'm not all pragmatic. I'm not all about doing stuff just because there's a definite final end to it. I do believe in communicating just for the sake of it as well. But when you're talking about a big project and you haven't figured out stuff yet, most people won't help you in this process. They might give you some ideas, yeah, but at the same time, they'll be giving ideas to you based on the very few things that you have figured out and have communicated to them. They probably won't understand the perspective that you're going into this project with. They won't know how you're working on it, the inner process that you're going through, and therefore they're probably not going to be very helpful to you, and they won't have as many good insights or feedbacks if you compare it to a project that was already finished or near completion. So take a game, for instance. If you release a game on the very early alphas, you might make a devlog about it, yeah, but it will change so much on the way that the final project will probably not have anything to do with it. It will be totally different, and all the feedback that you will get, all the feedback and commentaries that you get from the first drafts are going to be useless in the final project, and some of them might be misleading. So whenever you're starting out a project and you have very little figured out, very little finished, you have like 5-10% of it done, maybe even less, and you share it with other people, they will reply to your project based on that 5-10%. In your mind, your project is big, it's huge, it's something that has too many prospects, it has a lot of potential, but what they will see is that unfinished but final product. Well, it won't be a final product, but to them it will at the moment. So you need time alone with your project for it to flourish. If you're working on a comic book, you probably don't want to share the draft pages. You want to share it with someone as soon as you have, for instance, the first volume or at least the first chapter finished. And again, this is not me telling you to not share your art. This is about big projects and oversharing it for the sake of sharing it, for the sake of having some feedback. Initially, you don't need feedback. You need time alone. You benefit immensely from constantly updating your social media, portfolios, and making connections, but you probably won't benefit a lot from getting these initial feedbacks on big projects. So when it comes to them, you need silence. Now, when you get silent about it, you need to go inwards. When you are alone working on a project, it might feel daunting, and this is good. Maybe you want to share your big project and the initial states of the project with other people because it makes you feel more comfortable, because it makes you feel like you're going somewhere, that you are showing up for yourself. Maybe it's a way for you to be consistent or to feel like you are doing something good, and people might cheer you up. That's true, that's one positive effect of sharing a big project in the early drafts, but the mere reason that you're not comfortable with yourself in that project is already an argument for me to use against you. Because if you're not comfortable with your project alone, if you're not 100% sure and 100% confident that this is something with a lot of potential and that you can pull through alone, there's definitely some insecurities that you need to overcome. And again, there's nothing wrong about that. Feeling insecure is part of the process. It is, in fact, a good telling that you are changing, that you are improving, because you're doing something that you're not used to do. You're doing something that you think is bigger than you. Not sharing it will make you feel a little pressured and overwhelmed in the beginning. But the more you work on it, and the more you see that you are the sole person that has any telling on what that project will be, and when I say you, I do mean you as a sole person or as a group working on a project together. But again, this very small and selective number of people, when you understand that you are the only reason this project even exists and that you need to be acquainted with it, that you need your project to take some time to flourish through you, then you understand that there's nothing really to fear about that and that you can pull it through, even alone, even not telling people what it is all about. That is the power of silence. Whenever you are working in silence, you will miss out on some good insights that other people could have told you, but at the same time, you won't drown in noise. It is so important that we don't drown ourselves in noises. If you don't understand fully your project yet, you won't understand what feedbacks are good. You won't be able to separate all the good stuff from the noise. And believe me, most of the time, the noise will be too loud for you to even take good notes. If you don't know where you're heading, any place could be your destination, and you need to set out on a destination, but you will only understand what it is, where it is, and where to follow it, and what path to take when you actually put some time into it. So you need to give yourself time. Be silent with your project and give yourself a lot of time to go through it. It's important that you understand that there is no rush in it, probably. Besides some specific cases, I can say confidently to most of you that the big project that you're thinking about doing or that you started doing are not based on a time limit. you can probably work on it and perfect it for quite some time. There's a lot of very, very good work that a lot of great artists have worked on that took them years to finish, and the amount of time that you can put on a big personal art project is determined only by you. There might be some constraints from other people, from third parties along the way, but those are usually on a later part of the process. But this beginning phase, this draft phase, it could take forever. It could take some months, it could take some years. Understand that you should not rush the process if you want something good to come out of it, which means that you will probably spend a lot of time alone doing it. A very good album is usually not finished in a couple of weeks. A very good novel is probably not reading in a couple of weekends. And any video game usually takes years to be totally fleshed out. Not rushing means that you have more time with yourself alone, and that you can understand yourself better for more time, which means that you can work on that thing and you can communicate with your own art for longer. You will breathe in more life into your art project for a long period of time, and this will make you more confident on what you're even doing. You will find out by yourself what the correct answers, but most importantly, what the right questions of your projects are, and therefore you will be able to actually start taking steps towards the final phases. You can actually understand what to do and how you're going to do it, and then take action. As you work on it, you'll be learned to, first of all, be patient with yourself, and second of all, to trust your own guts. This process of ruminating over an art piece or an art project and over your own actions on this project, it teaches you a lot about yourself, and it makes you very resistant to any kind of noise that people might just throw at you once you start sharing the project with other people. And this is when everything becomes very clear to you, that you finally understood what you're even doing, and that you're now on a place in which sharing it won't be a problem anymore. It won't cause you problems anymore. It will actually propel your art forward instead of holding it back. So it comes the question, when to start sharing it? When should I actually stop working on a project in total silence by myself and not sharing details about it with other people, and actually start talking about the art? Because that's the thing, and I always get back to it, and I hope that my arguments are not contradicting, but your art only exists if other people see it. You want other people to see your art. There's probably a 0.1% of you who make art just for yourself and never share it with anyone, and I think you should actually share it with people if you are this person. But anyway, that's a talk for another day. But most of you already want to share it. So when to actually share it? Well, there's no one-size-fits-all answer to this question, but you will probably feel confident enough at some point. When you are so intimate with your own artworks, with your own art pieces, you feel some deep connection with it. You spent months, maybe years, working on something, and now it feels like it's at least 50% done. You are on the way, it's fleshed out in some way, and you feel like there's some final product that you can actually see in your mind. You can picture the final version of this thing that you're working on. And although you don't understand 100% all the details and how everything will fit together, you can kind of figure it out, and you already know the paths, and you already went through the extensive and painful process of crafting your own ideas and actually start working on it, which is the most difficult part out of all of them. When you get to this point of being so intimate with your own art, you feel this kind of confidence in yourself. The project that I'm working on right now, I don't feel it yet. I don't feel this confidence. If people were to ask me about specific details about it, I would not be able to tell them. There's things that I haven't figured out yet, but as I work on it, I will have more answers. And at some point, I'll be able to kind of picture the final product in my mind, and at that point I'll be probably safe from all the noisy commentaries from some people. I'll be able to properly filter the commentaries and feedbacks that I will get from others. When you get to that point, you are probably past the phase in which you would probably quit. When it comes to big art projects, most people quit, but almost all of them quit in the very early stages, when you think that what you're doing is so big and so grandiose that you could not finish it. Most projects won't actually leave the initial stages. Most of them won't leave the draft stages, and I don't have numbers to show you. I don't have statistics, but I can tell you this from experience. And this is something that I know that you can attest to as well. You know a lot of people who have started new projects, new habits, and most of the cases in which they failed right in the beginning. For those who have worked on big projects and have actually finished them, you probably felt like quitting more in the beginning than you felt in the end. And there's some psychological logic behind it as well, because why would you just abandon your project if it is 90% done? You're probably just so close to the end that it would not feel right for your mind to not finish it, whether it makes any actual practical sense or not. Like, maybe it's not even a project that you are so proud of it anymore. Maybe you changed along the way and you don't actually want to finish, you don't think you should. But having this thing almost finished and you knowing that you spent so much time on it, your mind will probably lead you to actually try and finish it for most part. Of course, there's always exceptions, and there's always people who won't be able to finish a project even if it's 99% done, either because they're scared or because they're too perfectionist, or just because they want to figure out new stuff, or they think they haven't reached the full potential of their art, or maybe they're not sure about publishing it anymore. There's a myriad of reasons. There's a lot of different things that might happen along the way, but in most cases, you're safer in the end than you are in the beginning. And until you are sure that what you're working on holds any actual value and that you can provide a lot of artistry and entertainment to people, you need some time to figure it out. What are the things that make that project worth it for you? And you will only ever find out what are the things that make it worth it and work for you if you spend some time with it alone, in silence, understanding the art project that you're working on by yourself. So there's this very rough draft of a line that goes from you as a person or as a group, understanding what is the thing that you want to work on in silence, and understanding that you are the only person or only people to ever be able to have any telling on what that art will become in the future, to actually working on it and understanding what are the good and bad things about it, and fixing stuff and finding out what you want to do in the process and changing things along the way and fleshing out that art project, to you actually coming to a stage in which you are so confident about it and that you have worked so much on it that you are intimate with this work and that you now have ideas about it that are more fixed. And at that point you have enough knowledge about it so you can actually filter out the feedback that you receive and not be drowned in so many random ideas and not knowing what to do with them. And at that point, you are probably past the phase of wanting to quit or actually giving a lot of thought to the idea of quitting. As anything else in this channel, this is not set in stone. You could start telling about your project to anyone you'd like today without even beginning it. And it could turn out to be a success. I don't know. Different people have different processes, but my experience has told me that there is some stuff that you need to go through alone first. In the art world, it is very important that you know yourself well, and in order to do this, you need to spend time alone. And as daunting and as scary that it might be seen, it will make you grow, both as a person and as an artist. Again, if you agree or disagree with me, if you have any ideas and comments about it, please feel free to share them with us in the comments. I'd be more than glad to read it. And if you think this was helpful, again, don't hesitate on liking it and sharing it and subscribing. And I hope that it had some value to you. And if you are working on a big project and if you want to stay silent about it, I hope you have a great time figuring out stuff by yourself. And I hope that in some time, maybe months, maybe years from now, you actually come back here and share it with me, because it is always great to see people working on great stuff. And as a final note, as always, I hope to see you here next time. See ya.